show there's a lack of open space areas we would consider. So this is a site in Ozone Park on the Brooklyn and Queens boundary, and the only space for kids to play is in a DOT parking lot. So really a really great sort of indication of demand for open space in that area. The next key criteria is where there's an active community partner in the neighbourhood. So we ask that. We ask when people apply to the Plaza program that they already be part of an established non-profit, community-focused organisation, and so that could be a business improvement district or another organisation which is somehow focused on enhancing the community that they represent. And as we go through the presentation, we'll talk a bit more about the role of the partner in the Plaza process. So one thing we ask when people apply to the program is that they demonstrate community support for the notion or the concept of having a plaza in the neighbourhood. At the application stage, that doesn't have to include community board support, but community board support is essential when we do get to the implementation stage of the project. So here's just a slide which shows some examples. So other community organisations, neighbourhood associations and so on, businesses, and elected officials in this case. So safety is also a key criteria, especially with the Mayor's push on the Vision Zero initiative. So here's an example of a potential plaza site which is shown in the star. It's the blue star, really close to a school, and it just shows sort of where crashes are taking place, and then a concentration at that one particular intersection, which again really highlights the need for safety improvements, which could be incorporated into an overall public space design.
I would have thought that would be a deterrent, which is interesting that you say you would put it where there's volume of safety issues. By closing up, you feel you can move traffic around it and...
Right, so one sort of major safety improvement that plazas can bring is an opportunity to close sections of street which are deemed to be redundant for traffic purposes. Okay. By doing that, you instantly take away any potential for conflict in that area between pedestrians and motor traffic. So that's instantly a huge safety benefit. But further to that, we can also look at further safety enhancements on the edges of these spaces as well, whether it be something like improving the crosswalk or improving the striping and road marking around it, really to make a safer environment sort of overall. So just on that, spaces where we found that the roadway is excessive for the vehicular demand really tend to make great, very natural plaza sites. So this is an example in Fort Greene in Brooklyn, where the traffic counts that we undertook demonstrated that there's almost 4 times as many people using the space as there are cars travelling through it. So really, sort of, one part of this project would be about readdressing that balance and creating space for the majority user.
Well, I'm looking at a school, and if you closed off, let's say you have the front of the school, and a lot of the traffic is in the morning when the parents drop off, and in the afternoon when the parents pick up. And otherwise, there wouldn't be so much traffic. Is that a criteria? Is that something to look at? And also, if so, if you close off that one street, let's say where the front of the building, the entrance of the building of the school is, how do you propose to combat the backup that's going to happen on the other streets around it?
So one thing we do when we start to investigate potential plaza sites is undertake traffic counts, which will reveal data like we're showing here. And with that information, we can calculate what the displacement would be on the surrounding road network to see if that the impact of the closure would be detrimental to how the rest of the neighbourhood operates, and then also potential ways to mitigate how that displacement could be managed.
Right. Okay.
And as we go through the presentation, you'll see that plazas don't necessarily have to involve closing the street.
Okay.
So it's not the only option we have disposal. Okay. So here's a photo of a before condition at the site in Fort Greene, where where people outweigh cars 4-1 almost. And then so here's an after photo, so showing what we can achieve by closing the street and introducing some of the amenities within our Plaza toolkit. But you can instantly see that the street has been closed and that space has now been transferred over to people.
Just curiosity, who was the community partner in this one?
So for this project, it's an organisation called the Fulton Area
Business
Alliance, rather. So yeah, as I was saying, plazas don't necessarily have to involve closing the street. Here's an example in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, where we just had an extremely wide piece of roadway, which wasn't being used to its full capacity by traffic. So we were able to, in this case, widen the sidewalk significantly, so to create additional plaza space, pedestrian space on the building edge, but still allowing through movement for traffic as well. So another key indicator for demand is our active pedestrian corridors, and that can be through adjacent businesses like the top photo, but then also temporary conditions like the photo at the bottom is in Chinatown, where there's an existing market which takes place along the bridge wall. So really showing that there's a real focus of people in that area.
Wouldn't you displace all the people selling their putting a plaza there?
No, so we have many locations, many of our plaza locations that incorporate temporary markets as well.
Wow.
So and that could be on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So really, it's about establishing a safe environment for them to operate and for people to use as well.
So if a plaza was done, like say I live not by Allerton, and there's no place. I'd like to see a farmer's market come closer to Allerton because I can't get around to the other ones. So with a, what do you call it? with the plaza, we'd be able to maybe entice a farmer's market to come and operate in that area. Yes.
So that would be something that our plaza partner would be able to discuss with the market operator. I mean, at DOT, we can, if it was a site that we thought would benefit from having a plaza, we would create that space, and we could then use that as an incentive.
And do they need permits and things like that? I guess the normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we actually work a lot with Grow NYC, and both in temporary conditions, but also in permanent conditions.
And
so bringing things to the site like water, power, things that help their markets operate more efficiently and at a higher capacity.
And what is that? Grow NYC?
Grow NYC.
Oh, Grow NYC. Okay.
The organization that runs all of the,
Right.
Many of the farmers markets throughout the city.
Okay.
But we also have plazas in areas that have farmers markets that are not through Grow NYC. But I mean, we see that as a really fantastic public space use and program, and so yeah.
Let me just throw this out. What about in a plaza having a dog run? Was that not considered a public thing?
That tends to be more of a parks use. And again, dog runs, there are a lot of specific criteria in terms of them needing to be fenced in.
Right.
There's a lot of extra maintenance, things like that. So again, it's really
a parks. Okay. All right.
So another key thing we're looking for is access to transit and existing transit nodes. These are the types of areas that already create a critical mass of people. So they also tend to make really great plaza sites. So the Plaza program is a multi-step process, starting with what we call a one-day plaza event, and so I'll pass it back to Emily to